I get you guys all the time asking me what sort of profits do I aim for with eBay and what sort of margin do I make? Well, let's explain it all in this video. Today I'm taking you into the depths of my eBay spreadsheet and explaining everything that you need to know about how I work things out and ultimately what sort of profit and margins I make. So, as you can see, from the start of the year we're seeing this revenue start to increase. We're seeing a decent increase month over month, and as for the month of April, this figure is going to be much higher, but I've not calculated a good amount of sales yet. That's because I've been busy with other stuff. Anyway, let's get on to explaining what everything is. We'll start with the month of April, why not? The figures don't matter too much, it's more about explaining what all of this means and how I do it. Fees that you can see, this is a column for fees. This is our sale price, this is our purchase cost, and this is our profit per item. Now already you're going to be seeing a few things here that may not make sense to you, so let me explain everything. You can see fees, that one's pretty straightforward. Sales price, you can see a blacked out bar there and a red bar there. Now this red bar could be black, I should probably make it black, and I will do when I update the spreadsheet. Like I say, I've not done this one for a few days or weeks. And everything that's black is basically now deducted. So that if the sales price is deducted, that means that it's been a return or a refund. If the sales price and the purchase cost has been deducted, that means in my spreadsheet that both the sale price has been refunded to the buyer, but it also means that I've been able to sell this item on again, so that sales cost is then transferred to a different product because this was only then purchase costs, or rather I should say selling fees. So how do I work all this out? Well, this is pretty straightforward. If you want to know the actual commands for this, we have to do sales price, which is this column, minus fees, and then minus purchase costs, and that equals the profit. So again, generally you can see the trend here, and again we have additional costs here, stuff like postal bags, which is the bags that I obviously mail out in. This sort of thing will then get transferred down the spreadsheet as the months go on, just so I can keep a cost of additional costs accounted for. Anyway, so one thing that I want to make abundantly clear is look on every single month. This has not changed. It's important to note this. Look at the we can even go back to February or January if you like. Look at the sales price: 39, 45, 27, 30. 75. If we have a look on this one, I just saw a really good one here, 129. We can even see 225 at the start of February. So when we come down a bit further, you'll see that this is a trend that, this is not like a one-time thing. Most of the items that I sell are worth a decent amount. The lowest figure that I can see on the spreadsheet is maybe this 27 down here. Obviously, I don't remember every single sale, but you can see the figures. Now, of course, we can't account for these returns and refunds. They're just different. This is something that obviously comes with running a business, and if I was to hide this, I wouldn't be being fully transparent. This is just how it works. But, look at every single sale price, and more importantly, and again, for every single month, look at the profit figures. I want to kind of focus in on this, okay? So we've got 18, 8, 15, 22, 11, 24, 20, 7, 19, 18, 9... The reason why I point this out is because I hear so many people saying, you can't make big profits with eBay. And of course, some of these figures are negative because of returns. And this is a real risk with running this business that can always happen. But now that I've outlined that, I want to make it more clear that you need to look at these profit figures. Now, these figures over here show a decent amount of revenue. And like I say at the minute, I'm about four or five grand in revenue. So of course, profit margins here, you can work that out. And if we have a look at the sheet that I've worked out so far, so this is our currently calculated month of April. You can see one thing's apparently true, what I just said. We have a revenue figure of 29.76. We have a profit of 800. That gives us 26%. So like I say, I aim for that 25% or above margin. Of course, if big returns like this happen, I can't guarantee that, but I aim for that overall. But just in case you guys don't believe me, I've got a little sheet here that I made earlier. So you can see every single month dating back to March of last year, which is when I officially started selling on eBay. So one trend you're seeing is this massive pickup here. We're seeing our revenue figures immediately shoot up month after month. Month 1, if I can highlight it, I don't know if I can, we can see a profit margin of 28%. If we look at month 2, we can see a profit margin, if it will let me, of 20%, so a little bit worse than average. We can see over here a profit margin of 24.5, so just under that 25 that I aim for. We can see 25 here on this month where I had around 8,000, nearly 9,000 in revenue. We can see it here in July where I had this 28% profit margin, just under 29. October is when I restarted selling because my account got banned, as I discussed before. But we can see here a 57% margin. We can see on this month a 39%, almost 40%. We can see here 20. We can see here 34. We can see here 34 again. We can see 25. And again, the month of April, I have not calculated all those figures yet because the month isn't over. Like I said to you guys, I want to be fully transparent on this channel and I want to show you what is possible with eBay. Like you just saw, I had that month where I had massive profits and massive revenues, but right now I'm trying to build back up to that. We're currently at a point where we're making about £4,000, maybe £5,000 a month in revenue, which is not terrible. I would of course like it to be better, but I just hope this explained what can be done and how I do things. So can you make a decent amount on eBay? Yes. Can you make a full-time living on eBay? You definitely can if you put the effort in. However, what sort of profit margin should you aim for? 5-10%? No. Aim for a minimum of 20 to 25%, ideally 30% or above. And people might say, well, I bet you sell less items because of that. You know, you could have much more success if you sold items at a lower margin. As the day has just started, we haven't made any sales yet, which is why the revenue figure is lower than anticipated, but this should be up to at least 4,000 by the end of the day once we catch up with previous days. With those figures being fully exposed, have a look at the sales that we make every single month. Now, this is a month where we're actually seeing sales decrease by 13%, and whilst that's not great, I need to prove the point. That means that sales are normally quite a bit higher than what we're seeing right now. And currently right now, even with a bad month in sales, you can see 70 sales coming in. So you can still make a lot of sales. But in my opinion, when we're running a business, making double the sales for half the revenue is double the work. I'd rather make half the sales for double the revenue, and if anything, I want to sell less products for more expensive of a margin. These statistics are down quite a bit because I had a few days away from eBay where I haven't been uploading, and you can definitely see that in the downtrend that we're seeing over here, but we are starting to make a comeback as I get back into uploading items. But as I continue to do this and as I continue to scale this business going forwards, you're going to be seeing that I want to sell more and more expensive items. For me, it makes no sense to sell these cheap items for no profit. Yes, you're going to get more feedback, but who really needs that? What we're here for is money. It makes me nowhere near as much, but I want to show you my statistics from my Etsy shop recently, and you're going to be seeing an even better trend here. We sell items for like £19 and we make about £8. We sell them for £45, make £25. This means that the profit margin is much stronger. And whilst I make less revenue from this, this is an additional stream of income. It's not really going to be a main stream of income for me, is it? It's not even a big stream of income. It's a nice little bit of money to make on the side, but I just want to show you guys what sort of profits are possible if you put your mind to it and if you find the right niche. Look at this one, £74 for an item sold at £125. The purchase cost was only £32. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, what items do you sell? What are the specific items? And I don't really want to tell you guys that. That's not me being rude. This is a dropshipping business. As you understand, anybody can get into this. If you guys get into the same market as me, two things are going to happen. One, it's increased competition for me, but it's also increased competition for you, so it's a potential lose-lose. Of course, on top of that, we have the potential for oversaturation, which means that everyone's going to make less sales at the same time. I can tell you about some of the items that I sell, the ones that aren't replicatable, like this 1950s or 60s Omega watch that I bought to resell, but I can't tell you about items that anybody can fresh off copy. On top of being a bad thing for me in terms of competition, straight up, I'm going to be honest with you, on top of that, it comes with a lack of skill, because if I was to explain you guys and give you a straight up sheet as to how to do it one-to-one, what are you guys going to learn from that? You're going to run into a hurdle and you're not going to get how things work. It makes much more sense for you guys to find a niche that works for you, find a market that is unsaturated. You can make massive profits on it if you're careful. Now at this point, I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be wondering, what do I do about product management, as in inventory management, and also product research? Well, don't worry, this is quite a comprehensive video. I'm going to talk you through that right now. Irrespective of the item, I always sell for above £25. Now I know what you're thinking, what about items like this? Well, the reason why this is sold for £12 is the same reason why it's got a blacked out mark next to it. This was a returned item and I couldn't get a refund on it from my supplier. So for that reason, I sold it off super cheap, but that's the only time you're going to find me selling super cheap products. Everything is above £20 to £25. And even on the times where it's below £25, which is very rare, it's because somebody sent an offer. Ideally, I go for £35 and above. Anything below that is normally an offer, which I'm willing to accept because it makes a decent profit still, but you're going to be seeing that trend across the board. Aim for items which are going to make you a minimum of £10 profit, irrespective of profit margin. That's what I'd say, because otherwise, if we talk about real terms of money, it's too much work. Why work, doing an eBay listing and doing that product importing and all that sort of stuff that might take 5 to 10 minutes for a profit that's going to make you, £1 to £2. Aim for a minimum of £9 to £10. That is basically an hour's worth of wage for a little bit of work. If you're building a business, that's how you got to do it. And again, you're going to be seen 1 or 2 times, so that's not the case, but almost always that is the case for me. Now let's talk product research. Now you're going to be seeing a product that I've simply looked for on AliExpress. So we have this camping bag of some sorts, whatever it is. I'm not too sure. It's just an example product. So we're seeing the price of this is £5, right? It's got 7-day shipping. And if we look on eBay, a similar sort of camping bag, the similar sort of things, go for about £16 to £17. Is this a good sale? Well, you guys might think it is. In my eyes, it definitely is not. I'm not saying that you can't do super well with products like this, but one thing to note is as soon as you click over to the checkout, the price is going to go up due to taxes and things like that. And that is, of course, going to minimize your profit margin. Make sure you click out to the checkout, not necessarily to buy, but to see this so you can understand it for yourself and so you can see your realistic profit margins. Now, there's a few things about this item that I really like, and there's a few things that regardless of what I'm shopping for or regardless of what I'm trying to import into my shop, I'm looking for these things regardless. One thing is quick shipping, 7 days or less. 11 days is the absolute maximum, but trust me guys, you go for that 15-day shipping, that 20-day shipping, go on eBay, sell items like that, you're going to run into trouble, your customers aren't going to like it, you're going to get bad feedback, it's not going to work. Now, would you guys be able to see what else I really like about this item? It's this over here. 99 pieces available. Now, are we going to sell 99 of this product? Probably not. But this 99 means that it's always going to be available, or it's likely to be available for a very long time. I've had items, and this is through a lack of experience when I was, earlier to dropshipping. You start to sell items with a, 10 inventory or a 15 inventory. They're going to sell out super fast, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble basically when the customer buys the item, you can't find it, this listing's gone down because it's obviously sold out and you can't pick it up anywhere else. Don't do this to yourself, save yourself the pain, look for this straight away. The number doesn't have to be 99, it can be 50, it can be 30, something like that. Just make sure that you're going to keep your eye on it if it's a low number, and more importantly, if it's a high number, make sure that you understand why that's good and why it's going to keep you in stock for a long time. Understanding this early will save you a lot of headaches down the road. But I thought I said that I didn't like this, so let me explain what I don't like about it. Obviously, every single listing is going to have its positives, but this one has a few things that I personally really don't like. Number one is competition. Look at this. Look at how many camping bags there are. Can we sell this item for $12.99? It's not the exact same item, but it's an example, right? It's going to be hard for us to rank in this market because have a look at some of the sellers. 2,600 feedback, 99% positive. 2,800 feedback, 97.8% positive. How are we going to rank against these people? These people have established a shop. They probably get millions of impressions every single day. It's very hard to compete. Now, naturally, even me myself, I have items that do not sell, and every single item that I do sell, I look into this, and essentially it's a bit of trial and error. Now, after basically a year or so worth of drop shipping on eBay, I have a market for my market. What I mean by that is I can basically look at a product, and just by having a look at it, I can tell what it should be priced at, what people will be willing to pay for it, how popular it could be, how many sales we're likely to get, and ultimately if it's going to be a good product for my shop. Now, of course, there's new things that I experiment where this isn't the case, but for a lot of items, I can look at it straight away and say whether that's a good buy or not. But like I said, as a new seller, we have nothing but time, and we have a lot of time that we can spend researching products, so we should put a lot of time away. There's not really a specific formula that I look for, but I look for a market that I think could do well, and then I kind of niche down on those sort of products. So like I say, the camping bag didn't make much sense, but let's keep on the topic of camping, right? So here we have some sort of a solar panel phone charger thing. It costs about £19. When we click out to the checkout, it's going to be a bit more, so we'll have to work that out accordingly. I don't want to walk through the whole process here, but you can see the product. So why do I like this product a lot more? Well, straight away we have this 7-day shipping, which is good, as I just said. We have very good reviews, which is also an additional bonus, and we have a readily available amount of stock. So when we have a look at this product, it makes a lot of sense for the same reasons as the last one, but then when we go into eBay, let's say, similar products, you can see, sell for a lot more. This one is a bit of an obscure market because whilst we can see these super expensive products, and some people on eBay who teach about dropshipping will be like, oh, this is a perfect product, the same things apply. 135 people or 135,000 feedback, I should say, with 99.3% positive. And also, we can see the similar products which are on sale super cheap. So even here, we have that little bit of competition. However, we're now starting to find something a little bit better, because whilst we have that competition, look at how many listings there are for this. Not very many. You know, it's a lot more sparse, and it's a lot harder to look for those super cheap products than it was with the bag. Would I add it to my shop? I would give it a go. It may not sell, but it would be worth trialing out, and that's one of the items that I would sell. Is it the best item on the market? No, it's not. Was it a quick example of how I would kind of do things? Yes, it is. Would I really go for the camping stuff? No, I wouldn't. It's just a kind of example of a few things I look for with products. One thing that I'd definitely say to anybody looking to get into this is keep an eye on the season. Don't try and sell seasonal products. I've seen people do this. Some of my friends who I've told about dropshipping, they sell things like, I don't know, sunglasses, and you know what? In the summer months, they do super well. But come Christmas time, people aren't really so keen on sunglasses, and the sales drop off. As you'll see with my sheet, the figures are all over the place. But that's not because of the season, that's because I got banned on eBay the first time, and now we're building it back up. This figure will be higher than that one once I plot all of the figures in, but you're getting the sort of trend that we're seeing here. This is how you do it. You try and make a stable business, however I can't really say that due to being banned, but you know, since I've been back, you try and make a stable business that's going to just keep growing steadily, and eventually you're going to be able to make a full-time profit off that, hopefully, or a full-time income. You do not do these seasonal items, you do not do these super cheap items, they're going to be too much work. But I think a really hidden and unspoken about thing about this sort of business is this. Look at my items. I have £38,300 worth of buy it now items that people can purchase. That's not a small shop, right? That's a lot of stuff in inventory. So I have 301 active listings. In the next hour or so, once I've done all the work for today, that's going to be 310 minimum. And that's how we go every single day. A new offer, that's great. 26 questions, blah, blah, blah. I'll probably answer them in a bit. And you will see, of course, 226 watchers. Do not be led into thinking that this is going to be, oh, you're going to upload one item and you're going to have a six-figure business. No, you are not. You're not going to work like that. Or at least I've not seen anybody that works like that myself. I have items that sell more than others. When I had my last shop, I had an item that sold basically 2 to 3 times or more every single day. Would I call it a six-figure product? No. People talk about winning products here on eBay, Amazon, Etsy. They exist. Obviously, some products are going to be better than others. But this whole idea of you're going to sell one product and that's going to make you a six-figure income is from a time gone by, and quite frankly, for a lot of people, it never would have existed. Expectation management is a real crucial part of running any kind of business, because quite frankly, you look at my figures and you might say, well, that store's not growing as fast as you might want, that store's not being really successful. Look at the profit figures that I make from selling stuff on eBay here in my bedroom. I mean, look at this, I've got a MacBook Pro and a desk and a Wi-Fi connection. You don't even need a MacBook Pro. Use a cheap computer, the cheapest computer you can buy. You don't need a lot to start this. Do not expect to be getting six figures in the first 3 or 4 weeks. It's not going to happen. As I continue to grow my business streams, I want to have more and more of this sort of thing, which is that I can sell for a decent amount of profit. But at the early scales, understand that you have no money. You're not starting with anything if you're doing dropshipping. It's basically free to start. And as a consequence of that, you're going to have a lot more of your time that you're going to need to invest. So, key takeaways from this video. Number 1, be comfortable investing time. You're not going to have a six-figure business in week 2 or 3. I've never seen that happen with anyone who's talking facts. Number 2, understand because you're starting a business that has no startup costs, you're not going to get no startup costs and no difficulty. You're going to have to work on something, right? That's expected, that's a given. And that should be fine and comfortable for most people. So if you can get on with that and have realistic expectations, you'll be good. You know, to make this amount of revenue and profit, I have to have about £30,000 to £40,000 in stock and growing every single month to grow the business. Does it mean I have £30,000 worth of stuff here? Absolutely not. It's all dropshipped, so I don't actually own any of it. But you get the point, right? That's how you have to do things. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's not how you do it, maybe you guys know or have seen someone who can do it better. I don't claim to be an expert, but I do claim to know what I know, and I do claim to have the statistics that you just have seen. I'm not a millionaire, right? You've seen from the sort of content that I film, you've seen my broken down car, you've seen me riding a bike through the woods. This is my life. This is how I do it. Am I building a business? Yes. I'm 20 years old trying to build a full-time, hopefully six-figure business, whether that be dropshipping combined with some of my other income streams, or dropshipping, or dropshipping on a different platform, or something that I've not even discovered yet. I'm trying to build this big business, and this is not something that I intend to even achieve overnight. Having realistic expectations is definitely going to help me. But again, like I say, I'm no expert, so take what you've seen as just my experience and what I've learned. It may not be true for you. On the other hand, maybe this has been good advice for you, or maybe it's been good tips for you. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe this will be the start of your dropshipping business. And maybe one day I'll see you in the comment section telling me about how you've done even better than me and some tips that you can give me. I'd really love to see that, and I really want to see you guys do well. So please let me know in the comment section if you've learned anything from this video. And by the way, I'm not sure if you like this sort of content. Number one, it's very basic to film. Number two, it's me basically just talking through a lot of spreadsheets and stuff like that. But if it's been educational for you guys, I can definitely make more stuff like this, so let me know in the comment section if you want to see more of this stuff. I guess that's it for this one, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.